Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I'm here sharing another dream from my dream journal. That's right, this isn't the first time I've done this. In fact, I've done this 10 times in the past. I actually have a playlist. I'll link it in the top right or in the description or something like that. You'll be able to find it somewhere on this video. But suffice it to say, dream time is where I take dreams from my dream journal, tell a story from a dream that I've had in the past. It's a good chill time and I hope you'll enjoy it. You guys, by the way, voted on this video out of 2 other videos. I made a poll recently and you guys, 61% of you guys voted on dream time versus commentaries and something else. So if this video does well, then perhaps we'll do more of these dream times, but I'll leave that up to you guys in the comments. So get to commenting and let's get started with this first dream. This first dream happened on the night of March 19th, 2020. That was on a Thursday. It's funny because this dream happened exactly 1 year ago as of recording this. I don't know when this video will come out, but it is March 19th as of recording this, so that's quite funny. But anyway, me, my brother, and my sister were being chased by an angry group of guys who had made fun of our car. My brother had some kind of new car or something like that, and he was driving us around. We were just chilling, vibing, and chilling out. We may have been going somewhere specific, but the dream journal does not describe where we were headed. We eventually had to abandon our car, however, because these people were sort of chasing us and harassing us, and we got to this point where we had to just straight up abandon our car altogether. We ran through the woods to escape, and it got dark. It got like really dark. I remember this being like the darkest dark that I've ever seen before in my life, and I suggested that we use a thermal app camera mode thing. It's like a thermal camera thing on our phones so that we could see, because if we had used flashlights on our phone, then the people chasing us would have been able to find us because we would have had obviously a big light source. So the idea was we use our thermal camera on our phone and we look through the lens or whatever, we look through the screen and be able to see and stuff like that. It was a good idea and we all agreed on it. And once I turned on mine and started looking around, I noticed something flying above us. It was really weird. I remember, because this is something that I've told people all the time. If you're ever in a dream, look up. Like, just look straight up at the sky, because you're always going to see something fantastic. And this dream specifically was no exception. I happened to look up with this thermal camera because I remember in the dream I was thinking in my head, like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I look up at the stars or something with this thermal camera and see what it looks like? And I did that, and there was something flying above us. It resembled a dragon, like one of those worm-like dragons. They have like the really long, slim body. It was a dragon with like two legs, which could technically be arms. I don't know the name of that kind of dragon, but if you know, then let me know. But worm-shaped dragon, it was really big, and I kind of freaked out a little bit. I was like, oh, that's really weird. I kind of was like, oh shit. So I showed that to my brother, since he was closest to me than my sister. My sister was a little bit further ahead, and so I showed it to my brother, and he decided, like, to look himself. He decided to look himself through his own thermal camera, and he saw it too. Another one appeared, in fact. Another one appeared, and it started spitting something out. It was like fire or something like that. We assumed it was fire because we assumed it was a dragon, because that's the most likely scenario of what this was. So we freaked out. We were like, oh shit, this thing is shooting fire at us. So now we have a dragon chasing us, plus these random dudes who hated our car for some reason. So we're freaking out, we're running faster, we warn her as we catch up to her, and we keep running. We just keep running, and we eventually reach a clearing with a bunch of large rocks. Once we made it to this clearing of large rocks and stuff like that, we felt the impact of the dragon's attacks actually hitting the ground. So whatever it was spitting out was actually hitting the ground now, and we could feel it at our feet because it was shaking the ground. We could actually feel that impact. So we ran to one of the large rocks to take cover. We wanted to hide behind this thing, because if this thing was flying above us, maybe we could hide behind it. Maybe it wouldn't see us, and maybe it would just pass right over us. That was the idea. So this is what we did. I took cover to one of the large rocks, and this slender creature just lifted up the rock and just grabbed me. It pulled me down so quick and covered back up that spot so quickly that my brother and my sister didn't realize what happened right away. They did eventually realize what happened, and they ran over to the rock where I took cover at and was looking for me, freaking out like, oh shit, what's going on? What happened? And they're trying to lift this rock and try try to see what happened to me, see if they can sort of save me, so to speak. As they were doing that, the same thing quickly took them under the rock as well. Took us through this weird hole in the ground underneath this rock, and boom, we were brought to this underground castle. It was like a straight up castle. I remember this place looking so amazing, yet so familiar at the same time. It was a weird thing. But we were in this underground castle type place, and we met this woman there who explained that magic exists, magic is 100% a thing, and that me and my family had we had some form of magic, and so we should be able to use it. They basically said, you have some magic and you can use it, but I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you how to use that. They singled me out specifically and said that I was somehow part of a destiny. The youngest son of the 7th generation will be the one to save us all, or something like that was what the prophecy type thing was. I remember I wrote this down. When I wrote this down, I remembered not knowing exactly what the prophecy was, but I remember the very start of it, the youngest son of the 7th generation, which would be me. I'm the youngest son of my family. I'm not the youngest of my family. My sister is the youngest of my family. And as far as I know, I don't know what number of generation we are, but I guess that's not the point. The point is, the youngest son of the 7th generation will be the one to save us all. It was the prophecy that was the closest to the prophecy that I could remember. So the others weren't told about this, but they were taught magic. They didn't want to tell the others because they didn't want to, start a whole thing. But I knew this, and I kind of didn't like it that much. It kind of made me nervous, gave me anxiety, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I didn't know what to make of this. At some point, while we're being taught magic and stuff like that, I mentioned using a memory spell to remember classes. So basically, time fast forward in this dream, and we're, months into, learning, magic and stuff like that. And I reveal to the others, like, hey, I revealed to the others that I was using a magic spell that I learned early in the class to plant, memory spells in my head so that I can remember all the lessons we're being taught and then pass every test. So it was kind of like cheating in a way, but it was very clever. I realized quickly, though, that this memory spell thing was kind of like a curse in a way, because I didn't perform it right. I didn't perform it correctly, and I started remembering everything in my entire life down to the way I breathed a week ago. Like, if I breathed a little bit slightly heavier than normal, like 7 days ago, I would have remembered that perfectly well. So I could remember every tiny little detail from my entire life up till that point. So it was a bit of a curse at the same time. It just, the rest of the dream just completely glances over that. It doesn't talk about it literally ever again for some reason. But we had to do an obstacle course every day, and every day we'd get a score from 1 to 3, but this was like the final thing. This was like the big deal. We did awful a lot of the times, usually getting shocked in an electric tunnel that we had to crawl through. But basically, at some point, we had been doing these obstacle courses over and over and over and over again, right? We'd been doing them every single day that we got there, and then, we've not been doing good. We've been getting like 1s every single time we get there, usually getting stumped by the electric tunnel. Our parents, we finally get a hold of our parents because we've been here for like months, and the parents are like asking what's going on, like, where are we? Obviously they're freaking out because we haven't, communicated in so long, and we just told them that elves took us to a hole in the ground to teach us magic. That is what we told them, and then we hung up, and then we just left it at that. Months and months come by, and our final grades on hands-on training come back. We finally get our final hands-on training sort of course and everything like that. We get our final grades and stuff like that. So none of us had high enough scores, but a sponsor, I'm not even making this up, this is what happened. A sponsor, it's in parentheses for some reason, a sponsor provided extra score to us, allowing us to advance. However, it allowed us to advance, but my sister, unfortunately, could not get these benefits and failed and could not progress on to whatever was next. So, from what I remember, this sponsor made more sense in the dream because the teacher, this little person or whatever, this girl, this elf, I don't know who they actually were or what they actually were, but they told us in this final little test after we completed it and everything like that, that we were being watched by, more powerful wizards or magic users, whatever you want to call them. And those more powerful magic users were looking for, you know, people to sort of take on as apprentices, so to speak. And they wanted to sponsor us to be able to advance to that. It was really weird. It's a really weird thing, and they ended up taking me and my brother, and my sister ended up getting left behind to stay with the original girl that was in the castle underground and stuff like that. The dream kind of ended there. It was like I think if I remember correctly, the dream ended there because it was really sad that we were gonna like leave our sister behind for an unknown amount of time to do unknown things, and so the dream just kind of ended there. I assumed because it got, you know, too sad and it just woke me up. But that's how that dream ended, and that is dream time, and that is dream of the night of March 19th, 2020 on a Thursday. So that's gonna do it for the video, I guess. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you guys want to see more of this, I do have a lot of dreams in my dream journal to share, I guess. So if you guys want to see more, let me know in the comments below, and that's gonna do it. This is definitely off schedule. It's definitely something that I don't normally do. I normally do, you know, Ponytown or MLP related content, but I want to do something a little bit different and experiment a little bit more and maybe revive an old series. So like I said, if you liked everything that you saw, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video and share the channel. Do all those wonderful things like that, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. No, it's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.